Hey guys, I'm just here to yap. um, because I there's a lot on my mind, and I just want to say it, and just yap with talk to you guys for a little bit. Um, so I don't know where to start, but I guess I'll just start somewhere. Um, the thing that has been on my mind is why I started YouTube, how I started YouTube, right? I know I'll probably get this question asked, you know, eventually, but I just, um well, I guess to start here, I grew up, you know, like any other kid, playing video games, going to school and everything. I'm 31 years old now, was born in the 90s. Um and I mean, I was aware of YouTube. I think my cousin at the time, who's younger than me, got me or showed me some videos or something like that. But but I wasn't like interested, at least not very often. I mean, I know Charlie the Unicorn. I knew the classics, right? There was also one which I don't even know if you can even find his channel anymore, but there was a there was a YouTube channel called Ned. I think it's called Ned. I can't actually remember, but it would basically he would title they would title their videos basically Ned calls, like, I don't know, like the Crayola Company, or oh gosh, I'm trying to think some of or the Gay and Lesbian Channel. I don't know, kind of think of things, something, right? And he would call them and prank them and do it in jest. It was actually pretty funny. It was my kind of humor, right? And and going through middle school and everything, 2009, 2010, I want to say, is when I graduated middle school, um and and still having my love for video games. And then I entered high school, and then obviously dealing with bullying and a few other things that I won't mention, or basically 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 autism and ADHD and bipolar, and finding all that out. I mean, I basically had it since birth and not knowing too much about it, but now that I know, but it is what it is. Dealing with bullying and just kid things, right? But hey, who hasn't, right? Um, and then entering high school, like, I think I entered my sophomore year of high school, 2011. Skyrim comes out, and obviously I had Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, um, which I loved that game. I remember, um, so when Skyrim came out, 2011, I asked my dad to get me an Xbox because I saw the copy, and I remember watching the marketing for this game. I had never played an Elder Scrolls game at this point, up to this point, right? Skyrim was, I guess, baby's first RPG, I guess you could say. And essentially it was like, hey, by the way, um uh I was like, so I got the Xbox for Christmas, and I was like, huh, cuz I for some reason, even though I was in high school, my mom never wanted me to play Modern Warfare 2. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe she didn't like the violence. My mom was very overprotective, but I still love her, so I guess there's something that, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I was like, oh, maybe I wasn't mentally I don't know, man. I don't know what her reasonings were, but looking back at it now, I thought it was funny. I think it's funny, but um and then so and I just remember playing the game, playing through the game, right? Playing through the game. I've played like up till to Call of Duty Ghost, I think, or a Black Ops 2. Um, Met a few friends along the way, friends that I no longer talk to. But I know I have at least two friends that I talk to still, but not through the Xbox, through something else. I remember my dad always telling me just it's like, and he's like, dude, they're shooting you from the left, they're shooting you from the right. Yeah, they're right behind you, dude. And I'm like, and me getting frustrated over the whole damn thing. And you know, it was a time to be alive, right? And it was time to be alive. My dad's not a gamer. He is an uncultured swine when it comes to gaming. He tries. He tried his best, and for a little bit, but he just can't. He's not a gamer, right? Um, and then not watching YouTube for a little bit, but then like I said, when Skyrim came out, uh, I remember watching some tutorials on how to do something. I can't remember, but no one. But then that's when I realized that there were a lot of YouTubers making Skyrim content, making Skyrim Let's Plays, and I'm like, and I realized right then and there that that's what I wanted to do with my life. I don't know how I was going to get there, but I was going to get there. And and it wasn't until COVID that I was able to actually pursue something like this, right? I'd done basically 2 years of it up until this point. I think my old channel had like 14, 16 subscribers, I think, at the time of recording this. And but then I deleted it. I deleted my old channel, right? I don't know why I did it, but I don't know. I don't know why I did it, but I think I wasn't in a place mentally. I had to figure stuff out. I also was trying to stream as well, like to get into streaming and stuff like that. So, um, and then I obviously made this channel. And if you've been with my channel long enough, or if you're brand new here, I've been doing this channel since 2022. And I just remember, and looking back at it now, I probably shouldn't have deleted all the videos, you know, um, or deleted the videos that I had made previously, because they were doing really well. And don't get me wrong, they were doing really well. But like I said, I don't care about views. I just wanted to be able to say that I've done something on my own without my parents' approval, without my and I've always heard it, right? It's like, oh, it's not logical to do this. What if something happens? What if your computer dies? What if you don't make it, right? Like I've always been told, it's like, well, it's not a logical, career path. It's like, oh, you have to have a job, you have to have this. I've heard it all, from my parents and friends alike. I always shrugged it off, and it was just one thing after another. It was a constant argument, right? Or a constant discussion. I think it made especially my mom uncomfortable, right? Knowing the fact that I wanted to do something that was out of her control. I know, crazy. Her boy is growing up. Um, and I think she's accepted that now, but it took a long ass time. Took a long ass time. And I could tell in her voice every time I talk to her, every time I mention YouTube. I feel like I'm walking on thin ice. I'm feel like I'm not walking on thin ice, but I feel like I'm skirting around a conversation. I was like, Mom, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I'm like, Mom, really? But anyways, I love my mom to death. I love my dad to death. I love my step parents to death. They're both divorced and remarried. So, um, and they've been my biggest critics and my biggest supporters. I think they shaped me. I actually, I don't think, I know they shaped me into the person that I am today. They made me tougher. They made me stronger. They made me more resilient. They made me just appreciate things and to appreciate life. And, even though I never listened, I'm listening now. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man. I just, looking back at all of it, my whole life, even though 31 years is not a long time, to be honest with you, I've had a good life. I've never gotten into any trouble. I've never been in trouble with the law. I've never gotten arrested. Knock on wood. And never. I think I only had one ticket in my entire years of driving. Um, and that was and that was on me, right? That was on me, right? I was actually speeding, right? That was on me. A story that I think was, and like I said, this was years ago, right? This was years ago. I obviously paid the fine and just took a little test, and that was it. Um, so that's all I really had to do. Um, and yeah, and so I've and obviously I had a car before this, the Honda. It was a Honda, and before that I had a RAV4, but the RAV4 was unfortunately wrecked. Um, because I remember in college, I was going to college. I was going to wherever college. I can't even remember the name of it. Um, and it was raining, and I was on medication that made me really really droopy and tired. And I remember specifically getting tired at the wheel and not thinking straight because I took it in the morning and I shouldn't have, but I still went to school. Um, but I dropped out of college, so it doesn't matter. But this story is relevant. But I ended up hydroplaning and ramming right into a tree, and I wound up at the other side of the road, and I was only dazed. I was perfectly, perfectly, perfectly fine. If I was ever religious and I looked up at the sky, I was like, man, you're not done with me, are you? Are you, big man upstairs? But yeah. But anyways, the moral of the story is that I've been through a few things, but not enough to write a whole story about. Um, but plus, I just want to document things. I want to document my entire life, or my entire the games that I played, the games that I play, the nostalgia and everything of that. Like, I document all my Skyrim stuff mostly, you know. Um, but it's one of those things where I'm like, what else is there? I kind of think about that. But why I started YouTube, just for the love of it. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for, and look, if I ramble on, that's because it's my ADHD. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for clout. I don't I don't do any I don't do it for the views. If people watch my videos, then people watch my videos, and that's totally fine. If they don't, they don't. If they dislike it, they dislike it. I am not butthurt about it. If a video gets mass disliked because they just didn't like the video, then that's totally fine, right? And it's like, I think anyone, whether or not I say something controversial, it doesn't matter. It's not going to bother me. It's not affecting my life. But I don't know, man. I think it's one of those things where I'm like I said, if a video gets mass disliked, right? Just because they don't like the video, I can understand, right? Me saying something out of context and it getting mass dislike. I can understand my ass getting canceled for that one. But if they just didn't like the video for whatever reason, I'm like, okay, then I would question things. So it's like, why didn't you like the video? Why did you mass dislike? Why are, like, say for example, like 50 likes, and not to say that I get that many, but there's like, why are there 50 dislikes on this video? It makes no sense. um it's like, what about this video? Was it too boring? Was it please elaborate, and let me know what I did wrong, or maybe you just didn't like how I did things. It it is what it is. Either way, we are all entitled to our opinions. and that's totally fine. So, but like I said, I do this for the love of it. I do this because I love it. I don't do it for money. Is money a good thing to have? Absolutely, it is. But I don't do this for money, and I don't do streaming for money, even though I earn money from streaming, but not enough. I don't make money from streaming, not as much as I would like. But again, money doesn't matter. You know, I I turn on stream, I record a video, and and I just do it and hang out with chat, or I hang out with my community or whatever. Money is not the end all be all, man, and it does not make me happy. And I think that's the one thing that I think is lost on a lot of people, is that they think money can make them happy. And I think that's one thing that I've thought about. Is money making me happy? No. uh, but I do want to get to a place where I can finally fix, while where I can at least pay my bills, right? That's all I ever wanted to do, right? Because right now I'm on Social Security. I don't know whether or not Social Security will get canceled, or whether or not I'll lose more and not being able to pay something, and having something. Because I do think about that. It's like, what if something happens? What if Social Security decides to cut me off completely? What will I do? I'll be on the streets, but that's just reality, right? But I think I look back into my Asmongold video, the one that I say why I watch Asmongold, and he was dealing with the same thing. He was on Social Security too. At least I think he was. Maybe he did talk about it. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. But I know I think he's talked about it in passing, but I think he was on either food stamps or Social Security. Either way, doesn't matter. Um, but I can relate to him because I'm dealing with the same thing. Now, look, me and Asmongold are nothing alike, and that's totally fine. Um, me personally, I grew up poor, and I grew up with not a silver spoon in my mouth. I had, I was thankful for the games that I got for the most part. I and like like did we throw fits because we didn't get our way, or because we didn't get a toy that we wanted or whatever when we were younger? Absolutely. Hey, I'm not ashamed of it. I know I did. You know, I know I did. I was young. I was like 5. Um, but every game that I had, I was like, I only got like 2 games for out of the year, birthday and Christmas. Maybe sometimes maybe multiple, but anyways, I just wanted to yap about this. But um, if hey, we're all unique in our own way, and whether or not you know yeah, we're all unique, and like, some people do bad things, some people do great things. I'm just a guy trying to make it, you know. Um, and look, if you watch this video, great, but if you don't, that's also fine. I'm not butthurt if you don't want to watch the video. Anyways, guys, I'll catch y'all later, guys. I just wanted to yap about what I was thinking, right? And yeah, I'll catch y'all later, guys.